Today's video is going to be on the element of art of line. So when we are doing these elements and principles worksheets, there may be multiple elements and principles that come peripherally to what we're discussing, but always the primary focus I want for this worksheet is to be the element or the principle in question. So in today's exercises, you will have opportunities where you could demonstrate some of these ideas using shading and shape and blending and smoothing, but we want to communicate in our drawing using line as our primary focus. So make sure that you keep that in the forefront of your mind as you are working. Today's project is very simple. All you really need is to have sharpened, nice and sharp, 3 graphite pencils, 1 B range, 1 HB pencil, and 1 H range pencil. If you need to have more information on graphite pencils, you can check out our materials video where I discuss that in more depth, but basically what we're demonstrating today in our video and through the course of this worksheet is how the weight of your material, the thickness of your line, affects your work. If you need a scrap sheet of paper, work on that. But beyond that, we're also going to use especially this very first exercise on the first page of your line exercise worksheet, which you'll also need including your second page. There's a 2-part exercise. You can always with these, of course, watch along on the videos, but also there are written instructions in the text as well. And with this first one, what I'm looking at using blind contour is a way to loosen up in our exercise. Blind contours and quick 5-minute sketches are excellent ways to loosen up, get your creative juices flowing without necessarily being overly married to what something looks like. So we're not trying to create perfect drawings. What we're trying to do is translate what we see onto the paper. So don't focus too heavily on trying to make things look even necessarily good or perfect. Just work on translating what you see onto the paper. For our first exercise, what we're going to be doing is blind contours. What this means is whatever you are drawing, you are looking at what you draw, not what is on the paper. For this first project, you will be drawing your non-dominant hand, so your hand that you don't usually use for writing or drawing with. That is what you will be drawing. You'll put your hand into any position that you so desire. Just avoid completely flat, have some sort of dynamics to the position, and then you're going to draw that hand without looking at without looking at your paper, while only looking at your hand. You're also timed down to 60 seconds, so this is a quick sketch. When you finish, it's not going to necessarily look much like a hand, at least not at the beginning. And the more you do this, the more your mind and muscle connection between your brain and your eyes and what you see on your paper will get better. But this is about letting loose, having some fun, and demonstrating the different weights of your pencil. So you'll draw a different position of hand, timed to 60 seconds. Don't pick up your pencil. Don't erase. Don't look at what you are drawing. You'll label that with whatever label you have. So this particular pencil that I will start off with is a 9B pencil. So I'll label that drawing my 9B drawing. I'll restart over here with my HB drawing, and then I'll have my H drawing. I'll do a demonstration just to show you for the first time. Note that when I am doing this under my timer, that I am not looking at what is on the paper. I'm only looking at my hand. So you can see that first one, labeled 9B, demonstrates how soft that line is. And I also had some moments where you can recognize a finger or parts of the position of the hand. I'm going to repeat that again. This time I'm going to switch over to my HB pencil right here. This one will be a little bit less smeary, a little bit lighter. If on your first go around you finish way fast, you need to slow down and do more details. If on your first go around you barely even got through your first finger, you need to speed up and do more. Do more quickly. Don't get lost in your weeds. You should be hitting the 1 minute mark right about the time you finish that hand. Alright, and that is my second drawing, and then I'm going to move to my third one. If you overlap, it doesn't really matter. This one I'm using a 6H pencil for. We'll do one more timer. I'll just have one more hand position. Alright, and then that is my final of my blind contour. So like I said, this is really about you getting a chance to have some fun. Don't put too much heavy expectations on yourself. Don't try and make anything perfect. This is not about getting lost in the weeds of erasing. This is about going with your gut. This is about having some instinct and having some flow with things. And then now that you've done that like initial just kind of loosening up icebreaker exercise, we're going to now put that idea of following your intuition, of utilizing the lighter lines, the finer details, not getting stuck in one place, not feeling the need to constantly erase, about getting marks quickly onto your paper. We're going to apply that to a 5-minute sketch. Again, a position of your non-dominant hand. You're going to sketch that, but this time you're allowed to look at what you draw. This time you can change on your marks, but we're still not going to erase. We're just going to go, that's why we start off with our light marks, and we don't want to get caught in the details, so that we have one beautifully rendered thumb in 5 minutes and nothing else. I'll start off with my lightest marks, doing my general outlines. Then I'll start positioning my fingers, and then I'll start laying in details and shadows. Of course, this is all over a compressed amount of time. And most importantly, I'm only using lines. So no smudging, no shading, only using hatching and cross hatching to create my value changes, and also using those different depths of pencil. If you have more than 3 pencils, you can use that at this point, but remember the object is to go through this quickly. So don't get stuck on trying to get too perfect, too fine. Just make your marks and move through that, moving quickly, because this is just a training exercise. It's not about perfection. So you can see I start with my lightest value, and now I'm working into deeper, darker values as time is going on. I'm keeping aware. I'm never staying in one place for very long. The general placement of the fingers and the deepest shadows are now being articulated. And you can see where I have contour lines that are outlining, I have descriptive lines that are showing the flow of my hand, and then I have that hatching and the cross hatching to indicate changes and shifts in value. And then over the course of 5 minutes, you should at this point have established a basic hand shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. That uses only line, uses a variety of values and textures of your graphite pencil to create the indication of a hand position, getting that material quickly onto the canvas, onto your paper, and displaying your understanding of how line can be used in a variety of ways to communicate and as a way to connect what you see to what happens on the paper.